Hello everyone. I am back live the second time today. This morning I was on live for our daily lives to help you refocus on your business. And tonight, well, I'm saying tonight at 6 p.m. here in Israel, in Jerusalem, we keep on having messages from the front that are not really fun, and everything is that's happening in this war is pretty difficult to bear, and that's why when I saw that we had a little bit of a good news, I wanted to jump on the occasion to share that good news with you. So as you know, and if you don't know, then let me tell you now. We were scheduling a conference, a global leadership conference. We've been scheduling it for at least 6 months now, to happen in January 2024, on the 21st of January 2024. The global network, for those of you who don't know, has been around since Corona. So it's been 3 years that we have our monthly meetups, networking meetups. And we've been doing this for a few years until I decided, that this was supposed to be something bigger and that we wanted to serve even more Jewish women entrepreneurs around the world. And that's when I asked a few people to be part of my board. And then we structured our whole organization as a nonprofit. And today we have a board of advisor, we have committees with head of committees, and we have ambassadors, we have local chapters. And this organization is just amazing the way it's growing organically. And one of the main peak event and milestone that we had, in the next month was a conference, a global leadership conference, where we wanted to meet in person, finally, Jewish women entrepreneurs from Israel and from the rest of the world. And we even had, if you remember, an online leadership summit in September. I speak about that, and it feels like it was, years ago, and it was only a few months ago. And we launched our founding member campaign, where we raised more than $3,000 from people who purchased the founding members' tickets and donated the money to the conference. So all this is good, but when the war broke, at first I wasn't able to think about anything, to tell you the truth. For those of you who heard or read my post, my daughter was in one of the villages in the south, in Otefaza. So it was a really emotional time that we just had to, take care of ourselves. And I'm sure you too were not able to think about anything else. But after a few, I think maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, when I started to get back into things, I was like looking at the conference, looking at the calendar, hearing people saying this war is going to last 2 to 3 months. And then I have to be honest and very authentic here, my scarcity mindset starting to come up. And I was like, I think we're going to have to postpone the conference. And everything was, coming up, all the fears. It's not going to be safe. People are not going to travel from abroad. We won't have room in the hotels. People are going to be afraid. This is a global conference. We want to have people from all over the world. So basically, I decided, I didn't decide, but I was like, I think we're going to have to postpone the conference. And I'm telling you this story because I'm sure that I'm also, I want to announce, the good news, but I also want you to go through the process with me, because I'm sure that you have other things that you were planning to do, maybe not in January, maybe before, maybe after, and you already, thinking of canceling or postponing. And maybe sometimes it is the right thing to do. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that, the way this process happened was a very, for me, was a very enlightening process, and showed that it's so much better to do things together and not to do it alone, and not to be, leave your thoughts with your own scarcity mind, or with your own fears. And so I decided to schedule a call with the board of advisors, with my board of advisors, which, I love each and every one of them, who are people that, are experts in their own field. have experience with nonprofit, with in Jewish, in Jewish leadership, and I started the call by saying, guys, we have to decide what are we going to do with the war, and how we're going to keep the conference. And I was so not surprised, because it's not surprising, but I was really I was very touched by how everybody came up. I mean, of course, some people said yes, maybe postpone it a few months, the hotels, the safety. But at the end of the call, I think we were already all agreeing on the fact that we didn't want to postpone the conference. And the more we went through the call, the more we took all the ideas and all the objections and all the reasons why we shouldn't have the call, the more I felt in me something becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, you know what? No, we're not going to postpone. We're going to keep the date, and we're going to make it work. And we're going to work around all the resistance, or everything, all the objections. Thank you for the smileys. I'm so happy you're here. I can't see your names, and I would have to look at my other screen, and I want to stay focused in what I'm saying. So thank you. And so we started thinking about how can we make it happen, because talking to people, talking to everyone in the board, talking to also, I scheduled another call with our heads of committees. We have a head of a promotion committee, head of organization committee, head of media, head of Jewish leadership. I'm probably head of ambassador, head of speakers. And we have all the names, and I'll share them, but and they're all really amazing, because they're all, by the way, everyone is volunteering, including myself. This is a nonprofit, and we've just started raising money, so there's no money to pay anyone. And we actually, at the end of both calls, I realized that not only are we not going to postpone, but I felt that this was really important, that we would have this conference, because this is the time now to speak about Jewish identity. This is the time to speak about Jewish leadership. This is the time for us to reconnect and realign to our roots, to our values, to where we come from, to be proud of it. Because what's happening today, and I feel like crying, what's happening today is not only a war on Israel's soil, it's a war that is against every Jewish person of the Jewish people. And that is something that I feel that we thought would never happen again, right? We thought that this was a never again. And like we hear everyone say, never again is now. And now is the time to regroup. Now is the time to connect. Jews from Israel and from around the world to be together in a room, and exactly what we had in mind from the beginning. And I'm so amazed at how this conference, my intuition was that the conference was for business owners, but not about business, about leadership. And we also were planning, and are still planning, on having roundtables on industry leadership and on Jewish leadership. And we were talking already with people, and I'll mention names as soon as everything is closed, and we have our strategic partnerships, because we were talking already about having a Jewish leadership program for women entrepreneurs. And we're going to tell you more about all this. That's why I'm going to come every day, every week, and give you an update on the conference. And yes, it was important before. That's why we wanted to do it. We felt that there was a need for leadership, and especially around Jewish women entrepreneurs who are already leaders of their business. But we felt that taking that leadership another step further, connecting them to their foundation, to their values, to their Jewish identity, to Israel, to supporting Israel, to understanding how we can take a role in this ecosystem of Israel, Jewish identity, and us in living as women, feminine leadership, our business, different countries that we live in, taking everything and seeing how we can make this our strength. And this was so important before. That's why we wanted to do the whole conference on this. But I feel like now it's not only important, it's crucial. I feel that now it is all the more important that we come back together, we regroup, we connect with each other. We not only support each other emotionally and in our business, of course, because that's how we survive, but it's about It's about connecting to our Jewish identity, to our Jewish history, to our Jewish values, to our Jewish traditions, and understanding where we come from so that we can become stronger and so that we can be stronger in the face of everyone else who unfortunately doesn't want to see us or doesn't want to look at us or doesn't want to see us as we are. And so when we realize this, I'm getting carried away because I could speak about that for hours, but I want to go back to the conference. And so when we saw this, I personally felt something getting bigger inside of me. And I want you to also pay attention to your to the way your body responds. You know, the response of your body when you make a decision or when you go through a process, because your body tells you things, right? If you feel like it's tense inside and you can't breathe, then maybe you're not going the right direction. When you feel like it's opening up and you feel like you can see clearer and that things are just, you know, becoming the vision, like you can see the vision. That's what happened to me. And, you know, I say that a lot also in my daily lives. When we are in times of war, we have a hard time looking at long term, looking at our vision, projecting ourselves in the future. Obviously, we don't know what the future holds. And so doing this exercise together helped us, every one of us in the calls, in the different calls, to be able to project ourselves and to see that this conference needed to happen. And not only it needed to happen, but it needed to happen even more than before. And it needed to happen for the women entrepreneurs in Israel who are definitely going to need all the support because they're going to probably, we are already going through an economy crisis. And so the Jewish women entrepreneurs of Israel are going to need support and help for that, for sure. But also the Jewish women entrepreneurs from all around the world who are scared to go out in the street, who have to take out their mezuzah from the door and put it inside. Can you imagine, like, remove the Chai of Magen David, don't go out with a kippah on the head. We saw pictures, horrible pictures of Magen David put stamped on the wall of Jewish homes. I mean, where is this going? Where is this going? So everyone is in need of reconnecting, and everyone is in need of remembering why are we fighting for? We're fighting for Israel. We're fighting for our Jewish identity. We're fighting for what we belong to, for our history, for our values. This is what we're fighting for. And so we decided to keep the conference. That's the big news. That's what I wanted to announce live. I didn't want to just write a post and say, hey, save the date, January 21st. This is a big thing, not only because of the process that we took to make that decision, taking into consideration everything. And I'm going to tell you what consequence does it have on the conference, but also realizing that the theme of the conference that we chose before the war, and that was a theme that was an intuition on what women needed, which was to leverage their Jewish leadership. Now we see that it's so important, even more than important, it's crucial. Now, because of course we are aware of the physical and logistics of challenges that this is going to bring, and we know that probably women are going to have a hard time traveling, we have decided, and this is something that I'm so happy to announce because it's so important, that we're going to have a hybrid conference. And what does it mean, hybrid? It means that we're going to have an in-person conference in the same venue. We're not changing anything. And we're hoping to have hundreds of women joining us from Israel and from around the world. If you feel like you can travel, and we'll see in January, we don't know yet, but the conference will definitely happen in person, but we'll make it happen also online. And so you will have the possibility to connect to that conference, to hear the content. We don't want, we were blessed, if I could say like that, to go through Corona before we had to go through this war. And so the technical things don't scare us anymore. We've done it, right? We've done everything online during Corona. And so I could say that this is a blessing because now we know how to organize a conference online. And we're doing that. We're doing just that. And so everyone around the world is going to be able to be a participant of the conference, listen to our panels. We have rethought all the panels, all the discussions, all the themes. But really interestingly enough, all the themes that we had originally are exactly relevant. We were talking about women women in business leadership, women in nonprofit leadership, women in with Israel, women with Judaism, women in politics. All those topics are now, I mean, we're going to have much bigger things to talk about, because before it was leveraging our leadership from a place of safety, and now it's going to be leveraging our leadership from a place of survival. And so everything is going to take another dimension, obviously, but the themes are the same. And I think that more people are going to want to come and be there and be present, whether it's speakers or whether it's women that can travel or women that can come. And so, yes, this is the first decision that we've made, which is to make sure that the conference is accessible online. And the second decision that we've made is that even if before Jewish identity was a big part of the conference, but now it's definitely the center of the conference. And so Jewish identity and Jewish leadership, the goal of the conference is going to be that at the end of the day, every woman who has participated, whether online or in person, is reconnected to her Jewish identity and knows how she's connected and aligned with where she comes from, and also knows how, if she wants to, if she wishes, to use tools to be able to use this as a leadership in her community, in her family, in her business, in her city, in her country, wherever she wants to apply that leadership. So this is going to be really at the center of the conference, and there's no better time to do this than now. So yes, we are at a war. Yes, we have still dark days ahead of us, but this is what we have at the end of the tunnel. We have a renewed leadership. We have a renewed sense of identity, sense of belonging. And I will end this live with the hashtag that we have decided to have, because before that we had a hashtag which was be the change you want to see, which is still true. But it seems a little big now because the world is in such a state that being the change that we want to see is going to take a lot of work. Not for us to be the change, but for the world to show that change. But the hashtag that we decided to go with is Together We're Stronger. Hashtag Together We're Stronger. And so that's what we're going to use. And we're going to start with promotion, but it's not going to be about promotion. It's just going to be about sharing what we believe in and attracting the people that it resonates with. And for that, we'll have the conference, the amazing conference that we'll have, that will talk about all those very, very important topics. So I'm already announcing that every Sunday at 6 p.m. Israel time, I'll come and I'll give you an update on the speakers, on the themes, on the topics, on everything, on how do we do it online. I want to give you a sneak peek on behind the scene on how we're organizing this conference. I might even bring on our head of committees to share, or speakers to give a teasing on what we're going to talk about. And yeah, that's the news. So I hope that this is a good news. I mean, for me it is, and for all the people that are working on the conference. And like I said, it's not only the news that we are keeping the conference, it's the process of how we were able to fight our scarcity mindset, and we were able to overcome this with looking at a bigger scale and looking at it from a different perspective. Thank you very much for being here. You're welcome to share this, and we'll give you, we don't have links or anything right now. We're just announcing it organically, but save the date, definitely, if you had anything on your calendar. And I'll see you on Sunday for another update. Until then, I wish you Shabbat Shalom, and I hope that this is going to be a safe and quiet Shabbat for all of us. Thank you.